Rountree didn't just win, he absolutely dominated Jamahal Hill from head to toe. He dropped him 4 times, cut up both of his eyes, chopped his legs like an axe on a tree, and slammed brutal shots to the body. It wasn't just a win, it was a masterclass. Rountree put on one of the most vicious performances we've seen in a long time. And what's even crazier, he did it all with calm, calculated patience. He didn't rush, he didn't get reckless. He fought like someone who has evolved, someone who learned from facing the best, like Alex Pereira. That fight changed him. When a fighter steps into the cage with a legend, they either fall or rise, and Rountree clearly rose. You could see it in this fight. He's become a much better version of himself. I honestly believe he could take on other top names like Jiri Prochazka or even Johnny Walker and give them real problems. Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev? Maybe. They're still in a different league, but Rountree is now dangerously close to that level. One wild thing Rountree did during the fight was throwing long-range standing hammer fists. That's not something you see every day, and it wasn't just for show. They were vicious, and they actually worked. You have to give credit to Jamahal Hill though. The man is tough, he's got heart, he's durable, his counter-striking kept Rountree cautious in the beginning. Rountree didn't go all in from the start because he respected Hill's power, so he approached it smartly, calm and measured. And once Rountree found his groove, it was all downhill for Hill. Most of Rountree's dominance came from low kicks and body attacks. For the first part of the fight, he was smart, working the legs and jabbing the body. Why? Because Hill kept leaning back from every strike. Headshots weren't working since Hill kept dodging them. But when you lean back too much, you leave your legs and body wide open. And Rountree noticed this early. Just a few exchanges into the first round. Most fighters take a full round or two to make those reads. Not Rountree. He picked it up halfway through round 1 and started chopping away. This constant leg and body attack forced Hill to switch stances and become uncomfortable. Rountree even started mixing in feints. He'd throw a fake high punch to get Hill to raise his guard, and then boom! He'd slam a kick into the body or leg. There was this brilliant moment where Rountree lifted his hand for a fake high shot and Hill reacted like he was about to get punched in the face, arms up, both hands flailing, and didn't even see the devastating inside leg kick coming. His stance got knocked off completely. It was almost cartoonish, like someone double punching air out of fear of a ghost punch. Hill kept trying to set up that big counter left hand, and that's why Rountree didn't blitz forward like he did against Alex. That previous loss humbled him and taught him to be smarter. Hill's known for his sharp counters, especially when fighters overcommit. But Rountree didn't give him that chance. He stayed patient, he stayed technical, and that's what won him the fight. There were definitely moments where Hill almost landed that big shot, but Rountree played it cool. He stuck to the plan, attacking the body, crushing the legs, and being patient. That patience paid off, because as Hill's legs took more damage, his movement got worse. His footwork, already not the best, started breaking down. That's when Rountree finally started going upstairs to the head with power shots. And guess what? It worked! Rountree landed big hooks to the head and dropped Hill 3 times with punches and once with a leg kick, yet somehow the official stats only gave credit for 1 knockdown. That makes no sense. He hit the mat multiple times. The shots Rountree landed were vicious, and honestly, I don't know how Hill stayed conscious. It just shows how tough Hill really is. But it also shows something else, just how powerful Alex Pereira really is. Because even though Rountree landed bombs, Hill stayed on his feet most of the time, but against Pereira, it's a different story. That man's power is otherworldly. There was a moment that really stood out. Hill landed a nice jab, probably one of his cleanest shots of the night, but Rountree countered with a massive shovel hook to the body and then used that same momentum to throw a devastating left overhand that dropped Hill. And yet, Hill still didn't go all the way down. The man's made of stone. Another key sequence, Hill moved forward with a right straight that missed. He then switched to southpaw and threw a left straight, but it was a bit off. Then a lead right hook, all missed. Rountree responded with a fully extended Russian-style right hook, palm facing out, landed it around the guard, and followed with a huge left haymaker just as Hill tried to counter. Boom! That was a clean and brutal exchange in Rountree's favor. Rountree didn't just win the technical battle, he won the mental and positional game too. At one point, Hill had backed Rountree against the cage, but Rountree threw a feint that made Hill backpedal, allowing Rountree to take center again. That's awareness, that's intelligence in the octagon. Now, here's where it got weird. Between rounds 4 and 5, Hill's coach told him the fight was close and that Rountree wasn't that good. Really? After 4 rounds of getting picked apart? Maybe the coach was trying to motivate Hill to go for a knockout, but that kind of advice just off. You could tell Hill was surprised when the scorecards came back 50-45 for Rountree, a complete shutout. In the 5th round, there was a moment that confused people. Rountree threw a lunging jab, and it looked like his head dipped low toward Hill's chest. Hill complained like he got headbutted, but frame by frame, it's clear there was no headbutt. His head touched Hill's chest, not his face. On the way out, Rountree followed with a left haymaker to the head, clean. Hill might try to bring this up later or make excuses, but the footage doesn't lie. Rountree, knowing Hill might react defensively again, used the same body shot setup as before, but this time he faked it. Hill bit on it and tried to counter, thinking he had Rountree figured out, but Rountree pulled back and threw another feint, again getting Hill to react wildly. These reads, these adjustments, this was next level fight IQ, and because Hill kept leaning back the same way every time, his body kept opening up, and Rountree went right back to the left body kick. Hill tried to fire back with a big right hook, but Rountree just stepped away clean. By this point, Rountree was literally toying with Hill's defensive reactions. He'd throw fake shots just to watch Hill flinch and lean away, then walk away smiling. Hill never figured it out. 5 rounds in, he was still reacting the same way, while Rountree kept evolving. In fact, at one point, Rountree just slapped Hill's hand away like he was sparring with a friend. He exaggerated a parry just to see what Hill would do. Hill bit and threw a punch, which landed, and then followed up with a right hook and even a head kick. That was probably Hill's best moment of the entire fight, but he got cocky right after. After landing that combo, he stepped in hard, extended his lead hand for leverage, and went for a big left hand. But Rountree jabbed at him at the same time, and Hill missed and overextended hard. His whole body was off balance, and boom, Rountree landed another monster left haymaker that dropped him. After that knockdown, it was crystal clear Rountree wasn't just winning, he was on another level. He had fully figured Jamahal Hill out, and by the 5th round, he started slipping punches effortlessly. He was moving his head just right, dodging the power hand, then coming back with an overhand or ripping 2 sharp hooks to the body, and then pulling out before Hill could answer. It looked so clean, so slick. There was even a moment where Rountree faked in and out, just teasing Hill, making believe something was coming. Hill, desperate, threw a body kick and completely missed. Rountree didn't even need to throw anything. Just that little movement made Hill panic and throw something wild. That was aura control right there. Rountree was in his head. Hill did have some good moments, especially in round 1. He landed some solid leg kicks early on, but stopped throwing them. And it's most likely because Rountree damaged his legs in return. When your legs are hurting, it's hard to keep throwing kicks with power. It feels like you're kicking with a sore hammer. Hill also had a nice little sequence where he threw a straight punch, switched stances, and followed with a clean body kick. He actually did that twice during the fight. That kind of stance-swiving combo was smooth, but those moments were few and far between. They couldn't keep Rountree off him. By the end of the fight, it wasn't even a question who had won. Rountree put on a striking clinic. He used fight IQ, patience, timing, power, and creativity. He beat Hill to the punch, literally and mentally. Now, looking at the bigger picture, what does this mean for Khalil Rountree? Can he beat the elite of the division? Think he has a real shot against someone like Jerry Prochaska? That would be a wild fight. Both guys are dangerous and unpredictable. Rountree has the tools to win if he stays disciplined like he did against Hill. As for someone like Johnny Walker, yes, that's a winnable fight too, but when it comes to the top dogs like Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev, those are different beasts. Rountree might still need to level up a little more to beat them, Pereira especially. His power and timing are out of this world. Rountree hit Hill with some of the nastiest shots, and Hill stayed in there, but when Pereira hits you, most people go to sleep. Still, what Khalil showed in this fight is that he's not just a brawler anymore. He's evolved into a high-level, smart striker who can read his opponent, make adjustments in real time, and execute a game plan from start to finish. That's scary, and credit where it's due, Jamahal Hill is no joke. The guy is tough as nails. He took punishment that would have stopped a lot of other fighters. Even after getting dropped multiple times, he kept getting up, kept trying. That's heart. That's warrior spirit. But on this night, he was simply outclassed. One strange moment in the 5th round was when Hill complained about a headbutt. Rountree lunged with a jab, his head dipped low, but replay shows it only touched Hill's chest, not his face. The real shot that landed was a clean left hand. Hill's reaction? Maybe frustration, maybe an excuse. Hill has a history of not taking losses well. He might claim it wasn't a 50-45 shutout, but anyone who watched knows Rountree dominated. He was adapting, feinting, setting traps. Hill kept reacting the same way every time, never adjusting. At one point, Rountree even slapped Hill's lead hand like it was nothing. Hill fired back with a jab right hook and head kick, his best combo, but got too confident. He charged in with a big left hand, overextended, and Rountree cracked him with a brutal haymaker that dropped him again. From there, Rountree slip punches ripped to the body and made Hill miss completely just with movement. Hill had moments, yes, but Rountree was on a different level. Smarter, sharper, calmer. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Rountree showed growth, maturity, and championship-level skill. Next for him, Jiri, Johnny Walker, maybe even a title shot. One thing's clear, Khalil Rountree has arrived, and the division better take notice.